Hello there, welcome back to my channel, Center Stand Mechanics. My name is Kyle, and today I'm going to take my bike out of hibernation. You might have seen in my previous videos I've got something hiding underneath this this bike cover here, and today I'm going to show you what it is. And it's been sitting there since about, I think, around October 9th last year, so it's been in there a couple months, and I'm kind of curious on how well the battery is doing, and after all that time. And I drained all the gas out of the carburetors and stuff before I parked it, because I like doing that. I don't like gas sitting in there over the winter time. And I put fuel stabilizer in the fuel, and you know, I did all I can. It's air cooled, so don't have to worry about the coolant freezing or anything like that. And yeah, I'm gonna pull it out, and we'll check the oil and stuff, and make sure the gas is flowing right and all that, and see if she'll fire up. We'll do a cold start on it. Okay, are you ready? Drum roll. See if I can get this out without snagging. Not too much. I'm gonna have to pull it out a little bit. There we go. There we go. There we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, here we go. I'll bring it out to the daylight here. And okay, so keep in mind, I haven't washed it yet or anything. It's been sitting in the shed here over the winter. And yeah, see, I was afraid of that. I'm gonna have to polish these up. This polished aluminum doesn't do very well on the South Vancouver Island West Coast salt air. Chrome and polished aluminum isn't your friend out here, but that's okay. Just a little bit on the valve cover here. I'll have to repolish that. That's easy to get to. A little bit down here, but not so bad. I can polish up these chrome pipes, and most of that's just surface stuff. But yeah. Okay, so not so bad. So what you're looking at here, guys and girls, this is a 1980 Honda cb650. Now, this is something I rebuilt through the great toilet paper crisis of 2020. I spent pretty much the whole time just piecing together, and you know, I took the whole bike apart. I stripped the frame down, sandblasted it, painted it, took the engine all apart, and you know, sandblasted and polished everything I could on it, and slowly put it back together. The only thing I didn't do myself is I got the fuel tank painted, and I got the side covers painted, and these pinstriping it's not exactly stock. It's close to the stock, the way they had it back in 1980, but if you look really closely at it, these aren't quite placed in the right spot. But it's the best I could do. They don't make these fuel tanks anymore, and they don't make hardly anything for this bike anymore. The only place you can get parts for it is on eBay, and wherever you might find a part. You can get gaskets and stuff like that. You can get chains and sprockets. You probably get fork seals and wheel bearings and stuff like that. But as far as like, you know, things, you know, you have to go and get used. I found this seat on eBay, and I only paid $100 American for it, and it's beautiful. I was amazed. This is an actual OEM right from 1980 seat. You can tell by the Honda it's not a reproduction or anything. I was blown away how nice this seat was when I got it. But yeah, so let's put it up on its center stand here. And we'll check the oil. Oh yeah, full, lots of oil. There, I'll bring that up so you can see it there. Hopefully that works. Won't know till later. And hold on. So ring needs to go back on there. So yeah. So I'm gonna probably wash it at some point, but I just want to see how she starts up and you know, get some gas going through it and that kind of thing. Check the fuel. I'm pretty sure I parked it full. I think it's this key. Yeah. Yep. He's right full. And then I'll just turn the fuel on. And then, especially when these things have been sitting for a while, sometimes you get a stuck float needle. So I like to just turn the fuel on and just wait and see what comes out. Hopefully you guys can see in there. Just check and make sure there's no fuel dripping out of it. Doesn't take long for the fuel to run in, so if you don't see anything probably now, it's probably good. Oh, look at that, there's fuel right there. Yeah, I was afraid of that. Sometimes with these old carbs, they take a little bit. So we'll just check that again. Yeah, see it there. Sometimes you just gotta just give it a little tap and it'll stop. So now I've seen that before with these old bikes. They don't like sitting. Oh, it's doing it again. Come on, stop that. Just give it a little tap, smarten it up. It's important that you don't have any fuel leaks on these bikes, guys, because if you get one little spark or something, poof, this whole thing is on fire like you wouldn't believe. So fuel leaks are bad. You want to kind of wipe everything up the best you can too. You don't want to turn into a fireball. There, so that's on. They're not leaking anymore. Pretty sure the carbs are full. Okay, so let's do a cold start. So hasn't been running for about 4 months. Let's see where we're at. not so bad. There we go. I think all lights are working. Let it warm up a little bit. But yeah, nice bike, eh? I really like this bike. Nice classic cruiser. Check the chain. Chain looks good. Almost warmed up. I'll get her to idle down here in a minute. Check, make sure there's no more fuel. So there you have it, folks. That's my 1980 Honda cb650 Custom. It's been sitting in the shed for about 4 months through the winter. I haven't started it up. So during that whole time, So I think it started out pretty good, you know, not so bad. Yeah, I'll let it run just a little bit longer, get that battery kind of charged up, and that'll be good. Well, there we go. Actually, it's running pretty good. I'm pretty happy about that. I'm not ready to put this bike on the road just quite yet, so it's going to probably sit for another little bit. I'm actually trying to get collector plates for it, so there's a bit of a process in that. I got to send a bunch of pictures and paperwork away and wait to hear back from them, and yeah, hopefully get some collector's plates for it. But so I'm going to park it for a little bit longer. So one thing I like to do, now I'm not too sure how right or wrong this is, but it's always worked for me in the past, and maybe some of you guys might have some comments on this, but when I'm going to park the bike for a little while, I'll just shut the fuel off like that, and I'll just let it run out of gas with the fuel off. That way, there's very little gas left in the carbs, and I find when you leave gas in the carbs, that's what gums them up when you park it for a while. It's probably not going to sit for very long, but I feel like it's a good practice, I think. So I kind of just do that with all my stuff. If I can shut the fuel off, I just shut it off and let it idle itself to sleep here. And you know, maybe it's a good idea, maybe it's not, I don't know. Maybe let me know in the comments section down below. I don't want to give out bad advice, but it's always worked for me. So I'll just let it sit here, and it'll kind of lean out a bit, but I'm not going to rev it up or nothing. I ain't gonna be melting any holes in pistons or anything like that, so I'm not worried about that. And that way it's just gonna put itself to sleep here in a minute, and we'll turn the key off, and that'll be good. And sometimes you can start pulling the choke out a bit, and it'll pull from more out of the bottom of the carb, help it from leaning out. One thing I noticed when you do this, there's a spot, you'll turn the fuel off, and there's a spot where it starts to run out of gas, and you can tell because it kind of revs up just a little bit as it leans out, so it'll rev up, and then it'll die. That's usually when I start pulling the choke rate out. When it starts to lean out. It's struggling a little bit now, you can tell. Yeah, a little bit of polishing and well, quick wash and some polishing, this thing will be good to go. actually run quite a while with the gas shut off. Takes a little bit for it to die. But it's an easy way of getting the gas out of the car with gas. I think it's going to die soon. You can tell it's starting to rev up on its own. See it revving up. Can you hear that? That's when you know it's running low. And all of a sudden it's just going to go, ugh. God. This is the time when you don't want to rev it. Oh yeah. Gonna die here. You wouldn't want to start revving it out because that's running too late. There you go. See? And that's that. You turn the key off, push the choke in, and that's that. Now the carbs are fairly empty. There's probably a little bit of residual fuel in there, but you know, not the whole float bowl full. So I kind of like doing that. Yeah. So. This is probably not the most collectible bike out there. There's, you know, most people want the 754s and, you know, from the 70s and things like that. But to me, this bike's special because this was the bike I had when I was 16. Not the exact bike, but the exact make and model of bike, if you know what I'm getting at. I don't know. I can't remember what happened to my bike when I was 16. I had it for a few years, and I don't know. It ended up probably in some junkyard, maybe. Someone from my hometown remembers what I did with it, because for the life of me I can't remember where it ended up. But anyways, so for the longest time I'm like, you know, I want to get one of those bikes and, you know, fix one up and have it for running around. I mean, not every day or anything, but you know, it's kind of nostalgic for me to have my bike when I was 16 and stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then, yeah, I came across this one and I bought it for 650 bucks, and I'll probably show you a picture of what it used to look like, and then I, you know, that was right around when the great toilet paper crisis happened in 2020. So what not a better time than to do a frame up restoration on an old Honda. That's what I was thinking anyways. So yeah, that's where I spent my time fixing this bike up. And yeah, now I got a bike to ride, and now I can go do it. So that's pretty cool. And I ended up buying you can't find parts for these bikes. Like if it was the old like 70s 754s or like cb900 or even the cb550s, you can find parts and stuff for those bikes. But this one in particular is really hard to get parts for. Like, I'm talking exhaust. I can't find an exhaust. There used to be an exhaust, Mac exhaust used to make exhaust for this, but they don't do that anymore. And finding an OEM exhaust is like unattainium for this bike. Maybe there's one out there in somewhere land. I don't know, man. But yeah, really hard to get parts for. You, like I said, you can get gasket kits. You can get a full top end engine rebuild gasket kit, no problem. You can get carb kits. You can get wheel bearings. You can get steering head bearings. A lot of things like that. But like, you know, body components like the seat, tank. I mean, you're never going to find a tank in this kind of shape. I have an extra one over there, but it's got a leak in it, so I ended up going with this one. This one had a big dent in it. The poor guy that was painting this for me had a hell of a time doing this up because of the big dent in it. So yeah, somewhere, maybe it was on the side actually, I can't remember, but all in all, he did a pretty good job. He did the best he could, and he put the pinstriping on as best he could. I mean, that's what the stock pinstriping looked like, and it's pretty close. I think This line here should be a little bit higher, just by a smidge, but it's not bad. You know, he did pretty good. I was happy with it. I mean, you know, what can you say? I mean, it looks gorgeous. It's not even cleaned up right now. When I wash this thing, this tank, the paint looks amazing on this bike. So you know, he did a pretty good job. And it wasn't cheap, by the way. That was probably the most expensive part of this bike, was getting this tank done. And the side covers he just did because he had the paint out. And but all this stuff is hard to find. So if you're thinking about rebuilding one of these Honda cb650 customs from, like, I think 80, 81, 82, they have this configuration. And really hard to get parts for this bike. Like there's stuff out there, but it's pretty beat up, and you're gonna have to, you know, refurbish it a lot and polish the aluminum, and you know, it's miserable. Like I can think of better things I'd rather do with my time than polish aluminum and chrome and stuff. Like, kind of like, that's what I like about my Husky over there. It's all plastic. If you need new body work, you just go buy it. Not a problem. With this thing, it's hard to get parts. I actually found the right mirrors for this thing. So yeah, I was gonna say, so when I got this bike, it was in rough shape, and I ended up finding 2 parts bikes for I got both bikes for 500 bucks. And so I've got a whole bunch of parts in boxes in that little shed there. And I've got 2 engines. They're both apart. One of them could probably be rebuilt into an engine. I was thinking I might, maybe next winter, I might do a series of videos of me rebuilding that engine. Like, I mean, take it right apart, split the cases, you know, do a full-on engine rebuild on that one, and then have that one ready for this bike, because I'm gonna keep this bike going for a while, as long as I can anyways, because like I said, it's not a daily driver. It's more of a bike that I just cruise around, Sunday driving, you know, just for fun. It's not going to be a good bike for touring. That's kind of why I got the V-Strom over there. That's the touring bike, because there's not a lot of space on here for bags and stuff, and it's an old bike. You don't want to be way out there having problems with it. So it's just for cruising around, cruising the strip, stuff like that. I'm a fairly large guy too, and I'm a little bit cramped on this bike. So for long rides and stuff like that, it's not super comfortable. It's okay, but it's not as comfortable as the V-Strom is. So I mean, I'm a fairly large guy. I'm about what am I, 5'11", say 250 pounds, something like that. So, you know, I got a little bit of size to me. So it's yeah, long rides aren't a good thing on this bike. But what else can I say about it? No, that's probably it. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'm probably gonna do a couple more videos soon. I'm gonna probably fire that Husky up here pretty quick and get it running, and I gotta go through some gear. We're gonna be getting ready for a road trip in April around Easter time, so gotta get some and just rides around the island here probably next, as soon as the weather breaks here. It's just on the cusp of starting to get nice out. I think we're done with the snow and ice, and that's why I've kind of been away for the last little while. Last couple of weeks it's been snowing and raining and wind and hailing, and it's just been, the weather's been terrible. So I haven't really been outside working on these things much, but this is actually the first nice day in a while, so I'm pretty happy about that. And just looking after the bikes and getting things going here. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Center Stand Mechanics out.